High in the rugged Andes Mountains of South America, soaring on thermals above some of the most dramatic landscapes on Earth, lives the largest flying bird in the world, the Andean Condor, Vultur gryphus. With a wingspan reaching up to 5 meters, nearly 1 feet, jet black plumage, a striking white ruff around the neck, and a bald head that changes color with mood, this majestic vulture is a true giant of the sky. Andean condors inhabit high-altitude cliffs, rocky canyons, and open paramo from Venezuela to Tierra del Fuego. They are masters of soaring, using rising air currents to travel vast distances with almost no effort while searching for carrion. Yet their survival is a slow and difficult struggle. These birds reproduce extremely slowly, usually raising only one chick every 2 years. They face habitat loss, poisoning from lead ammunition in carcasses, collisions with power lines, and persecution in some regions. With a long lifespan but very low reproductive rate, every successful chick is crucial for the species. Today, we follow an extraordinary Machum Chinmude journey, from a single egg laid on a remote mountain ledge to a young survivor raised on the edge of the sky. A story of immense parental dedication, extreme vulnerability, and the patient lessons needed to become one of the greatest soaring masters on Earth. Are you ready to rise to the rooftops of the Andes with the Andean Condor? Andean condors typically breed every 2 years, choosing remote, inaccessible cliffs and rocky ledges high in the mountains, often between high Hong and Num, Hong meters above sea level. The nest is not an elaborate structure. It is usually a simple scrape or shallow depression on a protected ledge, sometimes lined with a few sticks, feathers, or dry vegetation. The location is chosen for its inaccessibility to most predators and its exposure to strong updrafts. The female lays a single large white egg, occasionally 2, but rarely do more than 1 chick survive. The egg is surprisingly big, about muy high centimeters long and weighing around high trum tarmwe grams. Both parents share incubation duties for approximately Nammui, born 2 Nammui tam days. The female usually incubates at night, while the male takes longer daytime shifts, but they switch regularly so each can feed. Life on the high mountain ledge is harsh. Daytime temperatures can swing dramatically, with intense sunlight and freezing nights. Strong Andean winds can buffet the ledge, and occasional snow or hailstorms add danger. The parents must carefully shield the egg from direct sun and bitter cold while turning it regularly for even development. The greatest threats during the egg stage are natural and human-related. Golden eagles or other raptors may attempt to raid the nest if the parents are absent. In some areas, humans climb cliffs to collect eggs or disturb nesting sites. Poisoning is also a risk. If one parent feeds on a contaminated carcass, it can affect incubation behavior or egg viability. The parents are highly dedicated and rarely leave the egg unguarded for long. When danger approaches, they use their massive size and threatening posture to deter intruders. After nearly 2 months of constant care high on the windswept cliff, the egg finally begins to pip. A new giant of the sky is about to emerge on the edge of the world. When the Andean condor chick hatches, it is small, covered in thick white or pale gray down, and completely helpless. Its head is bare and pinkish, its eyes are partially open, and its legs are weak. At this stage, the chick weighs only a few hundred grams and cannot regulate its body temperature or move far from the nest scrape. The female stays with the chick almost constantly during the first several weeks, providing warmth, shade from the intense high-altitude sun, and protection from cold winds. The male spends most of his time soaring great distances in search of carrion dead, guanacos, vicuñas, livestock, or marine mammals along the coast, then returns to regurgitate the food directly for the chick and the brooding female. Feeding occurs several times a day. The chick begs with soft calls, and the parents respond by carefully offering nutrient-rich, partially digested meat. In the early days, the chick grows rapidly on this high-protein diet, but remains extremely vulnerable. Dangers on the high ledge are ever present. Extreme temperature swings can cause hypothermia at night or overheating during the day. Strong gusts of wind can threaten to blow the tiny chick off the ledge if it moves too close to the edge. Predators such as foxes or even condors from other territories may attempt raids, though the height and isolation offer some protection. The parents are fiercely protective. The brooding adult will spread its enormous wings and use its powerful beak to defend the nest against any intruder. Because only one chick usually survives, there is no intense sibling rivalry at this stage. By the end of the first Bamui days, the chick has grown significantly. Its down is thicker, its body is heavier, and it begins to show the first signs of the massive bird it will become. From around Bamui days old, the Andean Condor chick enters a phase of steady but impressive growth. The soft natal down is gradually replaced by darker, juvenile feathers. Its legs strengthen, its neck lengthens, and its bare head begins to show more color variation. The chick now spends more time standing on the ledge, practicing balance on the uneven rock surface. It stretches its rapidly growing wings, which already span a remarkable distance for its age. These wing exercises help build the powerful flight muscles needed for a lifetime of soaring. Feeding continues to be the central activity. The parents bring larger portions of carrion, and the chick learns to tear and swallow bigger pieces. It begs loudly and pushes its head into the parent's bill to secure enough food for its demanding growth. At this stage, the young condor is still flightless and highly dependent. It remains vulnerable to weather extremes and any climbing predators that reach the ledge. The parents take turns guarding the chick while the other searches for food, sometimes flying dozens of kilometers in a single day. By Bamui days, the juvenile looks much more substantial. Its plumage is a mix of down and emerging black feathers. Its wings are long and strong, and it can stand confidently for extended periods. It begins making short hops and vigorous wing flaps on the safety of the ledge, preparing for the day it will finally leave the nest. Around Bornmui days old, the young Andean condor faces the most critical learning period of its life. The biggest challenge is learning to fly. The chick begins serious wing flapping exercises on the edge of the ledge, often balancing dangerously close to the drop. These sessions are tiring and sometimes dramatic, with the young bird testing its massive wings against the strong mountain updrafts. First flights are short and cautious, usually short glides or powered flaps to nearby ledges or outcrops. Landing on narrow rocky surfaces requires precision and practice. The parents may reduce feeding slightly to encourage more activity and strengthen the juvenile's flight muscles. Simultaneously, the young condor starts learning to forage. The parents bring carrion and sometimes drop pieces near the ledge or encourage the juvenile to observe them feeding. It practices tearing meat with its strong beak and learning which carcasses are safe to eat. Because condors are scavengers, the juvenile must also learn to recognize suitable food sources from high in the air and compete with other vultures at carcasses. It learns to recognize danger, including territorial disputes with other condors and threats from humans or power lines. The young bird practices soaring in short bursts, using the natural thermals rising from the Andean slopes. By days, the juvenile is nearly adult-sized, with a wingspan already impressive. Its flying technique is improving, though still less graceful than the adults, and its plumage remains darker and more mottled, than the striking black and white of mature birds. After approximately Motrum Chinmu days from the egg, the young Andean condor has fledged and is ready to leave the safety of its high mountain nursery. It takes its first extended flights, soaring on the powerful thermals that rise along the Andean ridges. At first, it stays relatively close to the parental territory, still receiving occasional food from its dedicated parents. However, the adults gradually reduce support, forcing the juvenile to find its own carrion and travel greater distances. Now the real challenges of survival begin. The young condor must master efficient soaring over vast areas, locate carcasses from kilometers away, compete with other scavengers at feeding sites, and avoid dangers such as lead poisoning from bullets in hunted animals, collisions with power infrastructure, and persecution by humans who sometimes view condors as threats to livestock. Those that survive the difficult first years after fledging develop the full majesty of the Andean condor. They learn complex social behaviors at carcasses, establish their own territories, and eventually find a mate to begin the slow cycle of raising the next generation. Only a small percentage of Andean condor chicks reach full adulthood. The ones that succeed become true giants of the sky, symbols of wildness and freedom on the edge of the Andes. The Motrum Chinmu Day journey from a single egg on a remote cliff ledge to an independent young survivor showcases one of nature's greatest examples of patience, power, and parental investment. This is the story of the Andean condor, truly raised on the edge of the sky.